All right, let's loop back, get back into the story here. Susie starts a petition to ban bow hunting. So that's her way of, I guess, taking on Randy. I really don't know what the issue is with bow hunting. We just weren't good enough. We couldn't sign Susie's petition. Not even Davy could sign it. That's the guy she's with. It's wrong, she'd say. It's personal choice, Davy would say. If you use the meat and apologize to the spirit right before you do it, and right after, if you give thanks, it's okay. It's man's choice, honey. He'd say, if there was one thing Susie hated, it was all this man-woman stuff. He's trying to prove something, she said. He's just doing something he cares about, dear. Thought I heard a deer, but it's a crazy squirrel. I think it's a chipmunk. It'll be okay. No, said Davy, it's not like that. He likes it and hates it both. It fascinates him. Okay? So let's flip back there. Sorry, the chipmunk distracted me. He'd say, and if there's one thing Susie hated, it was that man-woman stuff. He's trying to prove something, she said. He's just doing something he cares about, dear, Davy said. He's trying to prove his manhood to me, to all of us, he said. He's dangerous. I don't think he's consciously trying to prove his manhood. He's doing it. He says he has to do it. He's not like, yeah, I'm going to bow hunt to prove my manhood. He's doing it because he has to. Maybe that proves manhood. No, said Davy, that's not it. He likes it and hates it both. It fascinates him is all. It's sick, said Susie. He's dangerous. And maybe he is, right? I'm a guy, and I've had women in class, and most people in this class are women, where Davy's a pretty scary person. The fury in his eyes, and I don't want to discount that. I might be a little scared of him, too. So I don't want to discount the fact. I don't want to try to explain away his fury. He doesn't hurt anybody in this story, but he does have that daggers in his eyes at the end. So if you're scared of him and think he's scary and bad, feel free. I'm not gonna disabuse you of that. What is this? Susie hated all this man-woman stuff. That's interesting to me. It's very interesting to me. Maybe she just wants to be one of the guys. Maybe she often things we say we hate, we also really like. Maybe I'm guessing she's very ambivalent about Randy. I think we've used the word ambivalent before. Two feelings in both directions. He likes it and hates it both. Randy's relationship with bow hunting. I think she's probably very, very hot for Randy, but also hates Randy. Ambivalence. Two feelings, two opposite feelings about the same thing. And this is why, if she didn't care about him, the word Randy would never come from her mouth. She wouldn't send a petition around. Randy's the guy who's on her mind. Let's face it. Randy's the guy who's on her mind, who she does have passion for. The other guys are just dopey bucks. I like it when our narrator, who I find very appealing, he is this sort of very interested in people and everything, and he seems kind of humble. And he goes along with Randy to try to learn something about bow hunting. And Randy's in this sort of tiger-striped camouflage, right? He looks like a tiger. The words, tiger-striped and frightening. A tiger is an animal that would jump, not kill a deer in wherever this is, Montana. But a tiger, of course, kills lots of deer-like animals, antelope, etc., etc. So he really is the tiger. He is the animal. Here. This is all very worthwhile to think about. We might not come to any strong point or conclusion here, but you could do a lot worse than spend time pondering how much we are like animals and how much we are different from animals. I always think we're much more alike than different. The fact that we sit around and think about it probably makes us different. I don't think that chipmunk over there is listening to me too carefully and pondering how much he's like a human. Though, who knows? Do animals have feelings? I think they do. Okay. Here's what Randy says. I'm not sure why I do it, he admitted, reading my mind. I feel kind of bad about it each time I see one like this. He's just killed a big buck. But I do keep doing it. He shrugged. I listen to the sound of the creek. I know it's cruel, but I can't help it. I have to do it, he said. Well, he eats the meat. He's not hurting other people. It is a natural thing to do. Animals hunt, right? Animals hunt. Planting corn and vegetables, that's almost unnatural, right? In a way, it's good things to do. He does it because he has to, and he's not sure why. And let's face it, what % of things do you do on any given day that you know why you do it? Half? I don't know, right? We do stuff all the time. We say things all the time. We don't know why. We don't know why. When Susie moves on and leaves Davy, they like have a celebration. They roast a whole deer. It's like a ritual, a transfer of mating ritual. It's crazy. She wasn't cruel. She was just frightened. Fright sometimes, plain fright, even more than terror, is every bit as bad as pain and maybe worse. You know, is she the hunted? Randy really is hunting her. Is that why she's fearful? That could be. That could be. You know, this sort of rough and tumble idea that men are on the hunt, men are on the prowl for women. It comes up in stories and movies and all the time, right? Men fighting over women. It puts the men at the center of things, which is very, very bad. And it's not the way life should be. We are different from animals who might fight over the doe and then move on. We are civilized, and a lot of good and a lot of bad comes with that. Susie says, I've got to go somewhere. I hate being alone. I can't stand being alone. She slipped her hand in mine. Now, how's that for romance, right? You ever want another person to say, I've got to go somewhere. I hate being alone. I can't stand being alone. And the person slips their hand in yours. Randy was still sitting at the picnic table with Davy when we left, eating slices of venison. Ducks flew down the river. I guess that's as close to I love you as I'll get, I said. I'm serious, she said. You don't understand. It's horrible. I can't stand it. So she hates being alone. Maybe there's something unnatural about that. Yeah. The narrator starts to get paranoid. He thinks Randy could be watching him. If Randy can have a white-hot passion for bow hunting, I understand how much heat is in his hate. It spooks me the way he doesn't bring Susie presents anymore. The flat look he gives could mean anything. It's like I can't see him, right? He's like a camouflaged tiger. Sometimes I'm afraid to go in the woods, but I do anyway. I go hunting in the fall, cut the wood in the fall, in the winter, fish in the spring. Gotta face your fears. Go for walks in the summer, walks and drives up to the tops of the high snowy mountains. Even though he has this fear of Randy, probably unfounded. We have no idea Randy has a history of violence, but they're people I just get a bad feeling about. I'm sure you do too. So they have their Halloween party here at the end. Susie had a lot to drink, and she's questioning Randy actually quite rationally about bow hunting. Frankly, it almost seems like she's finally showing interest in making an effort to understand, and he just completely ignores her. And I don't know why. Several of you asked about that. I wish we were all together so we could think and talk about this some more. And finally she tells him when he won't talk to her, you're a real asshole. You're too cool-blooded for me. You scare me, mister. And he stares ahead, and then he turns and gives the narrator a dirty look. More than a dirty look. A scary, scary look. So, maybe we didn't get to any grand conclusion about Antlers, but I do think that it should give us pause to think about our relationship with nature. We need to understand what we're doing to it, how every action we take impacts nature, And we're learning that more than ever. Nature has been the great beneficiary of COVID-19 because we have diminished our activity. We have diminished our activity. It's a funny thing, and this may not have a lot to do with the story, but most things we consider good are bad for nature. Economic prosperity is bad for nature. More resources get used. Every time a child is born, a beautiful thing, it's bad for nature. More people, worse for nature. Someone builds a bigger house and it makes them happy, right? That's really bad for nature. So almost everything we consider good is bad for the environment, which is kind of a depressing note. But I think there's great, so we'll try to be more positive here. I think that there's great benefit. There's tremendous benefit in increasing your time in nature. I've just loved sitting out here for the last 40 minutes with you guys. There's a little wind blowing. I'm watching a leaf go down the stream here. Just got hung up on a log. You know, it's just beautiful out here, and it's good for the spirit. I can't explain it, but it's just good for the spirit. And you know, most of us have a little more time on our hands now. Organizations we're a part of aren't functioning. Find a nature trail. Our area is full of them, and just go for a walk in it. It might take a while for you to give up and lose some of the stressors and the parts of formal living, but you'll get used to it, and then maybe it'll be hard to go back.